Do affirmations actually work? And the short answer is no. So in this video, I'm going over some of the biggest questions I've seen and gotten about affirmations versus imagination. There is only one cause, which is your imagination. So things like affirmations or subliminals or anything like that are really just trying to change the smoke or the shadow so that you can experience what you want. But to do an affirmation or to turn on a subliminal or to reprogram your subconscious mind, first you need to imagine something so that you'll take those actions. It all starts in imagination. So it doesn't matter how many words you say or how you say them or when you say them. Words on their own don't do anything. And another way to look at this is everything in the physical world is a creation. I mentioned earlier, there is only one cause, which is your imagination. Your imagination, what you truly are, is what creates. Everything that comes after that is a creation, and creations don't do anything. They're just reflections of what you once imagined. So you can imagine doing affirmations, and you can notice yourself doing them, but unless you shift internally, unless you change what you're imagining or change your internal experience, affirmations aren't going to do anything. And that's why a lot of people sometimes get results with affirmations. That's why maybe you've gotten some results with affirmations, is because, you imagine something while you were doing those affirmations. But the affirmations on their own don't do anything. Now the second question is what does it mean to use your imagination when manifesting? And it's really as simple as it sounds. So whatever you imagine about something is how you're going to experience it in the physical world. So if you imagine people are terrible and they're out to get you, that's how you're going to experience most people. If you imagine, the world is a terrible place, then that's how you're going to experience the world, which objectively, right now, is the best time to be alive on planet Earth in regards to the amount of wealth people have. Even though it might not always look like that, and that's not the point I'm trying to get at right now. But how you view the world, what you imagine about it, is how you're going to experience it. How do you experience, or what do you imagine about your own world? Do you imagine your past and your circumstance are stopping you from getting what you want? Or do you recognize that you are the operant power? And do you choose to use your imagination in a way that's going to give life to the experiences you want to have? Imagination, when it comes to manifestation, is all there really is. And I could keep going on, but that's all it really means when it comes to using your imagination to manifest, is recognizing that your imagination is what manifests and choosing to use it to see the world as you would like to experience it. Now, the third question, is awareness more important than affirmations? And as we went over in the first question, affirmations don't work. And how awareness plays a part when it comes to manifestation, there are two ways to look at it. One is what you truly are, is your awareness of being. You are consciousness, your imagination, your God. You are the awareness behind what you hear, see, think, and feel. There's also another way you can look at awareness, which is, are you aware of what you're aware of being in this moment? In other words, are you aware of what you're imagining about things in this moment? Because it's easy enough to say to change what you're imagining, but as humans we can get lost, in our thoughts, in, unconscious imaginings, just imagining on autopilot. So the second way of looking at awareness is just throughout your day, be a little bit more aware. You don't have to become enlightened or become a Zen master, but, whether you're driving to work, doing your job, washing the dishes, taking the dog for a walk, just ask yourself, what am I aware of being right now? And if you can do that, then it will become much easier to change what you're imagining. It will become much easier to start giving life to a reality that you want to experience. So in this sense, even if you're not willing to let go of the idea that affirmations don't create, awareness is still a much more powerful tool, because then you can notice what you're giving life to. And once you've noticed what you're giving life to, you can decide if you want to continue giving life to it, or you can decide to imagine something else, to imagine what it is you desire to experience. And before we move on to the next question, I just want to go over, I use some really broad terms when it comes to what you imagine about the world and about people, but also what you imagine about money, what you imagine about your regular day-to-day life. If you have certain goals or targets, like certain fitness levels, if you imagine that fitness is hard and it's not fun and you have to drag yourself through it, that's how you're going to experience it. But if you imagine, getting the desired body you want is easy or fun or something you genuinely enjoy doing, then that's how you're going to experience it. So be aware as often as you can and notice what imaginal activities you want to change. Now, the fourth question, what about the subconscious mind? Is it the real power? Is there any power behind it? In regards to the principle of imagination being the only cause, imagination is the only reality, then no, the subconscious mind does not have any power. It's simply a reflection of what you've been imagining. And a lot of people imagine their subconscious mind is full of trauma, full of past bad programming, or whatever they want to call it, and they imagine that they need to overcome all of those hidden things, that they need to dig and uncover things that are holding them back so that they can move forward. But the irony of this is that for them to dig within their subconscious and find things holding them back, they first have to imagine those things that are holding them back. They have to imagine something from the past is holding them back, and then they have to imagine overcoming those things. So the subconscious mind talk in the manifestation community is often a trap, and it's holding a lot of people back. You don't need to reprogram it. Just simply imagine differently, and the reflection, the physical world, including your subconscious mind, which is part of the physical world, is going to follow your new imaginal activity. So if you ever come across a new technique or anything like that, a little test you can give it to see if it's actually effective. Is it coming from the idea that imagination is the one and only cause? Or is it coming from an outside source? And by outside source, I mean anything that isn't your imagination, including your subconscious mind. And the final question is, how do you actually use your imagination to manifest? Which we've already kind of gone over. And really, you're using your imagination right now. You're imagining something about what I'm saying. You're imagining something about what's going to happen later in your day. You're imagining something about what someone said earlier. And, maybe after this, you're going to imagine getting a glass of water. So the main thing to really be effective or to use your imagination more effectively is to have faith in yourself, because what you truly are is your imagination. So to have faith in yourself is to have faith in your imagination. And if you have faith in your imagination, you're going to have faith in your manifestations. You don't need to try and force. If I were to turn this into a little process, simply be aware of what you're imagining right now. If it's something you want to experience, continue doing so. If you don't want to experience it, or it doesn't line up with your desires, change what you're imagining about certain things. That change in imaginal activity is going to start to reflect with new thoughts, new actions, and new emotions, new subconscious programming. That all comes from a change in imagination. The people will come, the opportunities will reveal themselves, things will line up because your imagination is the one cause. And that might sound simple, but that's all there really is to it. And if you want another step, because all of this sounds too simple, keep practicing. Because, even for myself, I've been doing this for years and years and studying it for a long time, but it's still a relatively new topic to me, and most people that I talk to don't really even know about manifestation in general, let alone the idea that imagination is the only reality. So keep practicing it. Think about how long it took you to walk and then think about how good you are at it now, or breathing or thinking or speaking or typing. All of those things took a bit of practice, but now you can do it with ease. Really, it just boils down to change what you're imagining, have faith in yourself, but if it's not coming naturally at first, that's fine. It doesn't mean it's complicated, it just means you need a little bit more practice. By practice, I mean practice imagining what it is you want to experience. Practice imagining what you want to see in this world and in your world. Now, if this resonated with you and you want to dive deeper, check out my school community. The link's in the description. With that being said, I will see you in the next video.